Hey all, my name is Paul Borosky and I am the owner of Quality Business Plan. And what I'd like to do today is introduce you all to my basic business plan example. And in this example, I'm going to kind of set your expectations as to what to expect when you purchase one of my basic business plans. I want to try to keep this video to about 5 minutes, so I'm going to go pretty quick. So hold on to your hats and we'll get started. So first thing, every one of my business plans, what's going to start with? It's going to start with the title page. On the title page, you are going to have the name of the company, and if you supply me with a logo, I'll put your logo out front, and then I'll have the date. Next is going to be the table of contents. I do promise that my clients are going to receive between 10 to 15 pages for the basic business plan. Usually it's going to run probably about 15 to 16 pages, so it's a little bit on the high side, but not too much. And next section is going to be the executive summary. For the executive summary, when you write a business plan, you really literally have two documents. Your first document is going to be your executive summary, which is a summarized version of the business plan. And then you're going to have your actual business plan that's going to have the details provided in it. So one of the main things you have to do when writing a business plan is you have to make sure your executive summary is 100% aligned with your business plan. You don't want to introduce new information into the executive summary that is not included into the business plan. From that, when I write my executive summaries, I literally go through my business plan and I copy and paste information out of my business plan and place it directly into the executive summary. I don't reword it. I don't do anything like that. For the simple fact is you want 100% alignment, and you have 100% alignment when you follow that structure. So in the executive summary, we're going to touch on the company products and services. We're going to touch on the target market, competitive advantages, we'll list one or two. Financial highlights, we'll go over those. And then the funding, how much money are you looking for if you're looking for funding? And this business plan right here, the basic plan, it's good for, raising, it's good for landlords, for leases. It's also good for raising about $25,000, $30,000. Very basic plan. Next section is going to be the company description. I'll briefly summarize what your company is going to do, and so on and so forth. Then we'll talk about your product description, and then we'll talk about the location. Why did you choose a location? We'll briefly touch on who your target market's going to be, and then we'll go into the competitive advantages of what you're going to do better than your competitors. Again, this will be brief as well. This section should be no more than 1 to 2 pages. Next section is going to be your market analysis. This is going to be about a half a page. I'm going to give you about half a page for this one. And we're just briefly taking a look at the overall industry from which you're going to be competing in. So like I said, it's going to be about a half a page. Next section is going to be your organization and management. And so we're going to touch on the job responsibilities, who's going to do what, and that's going to be this information here. Next section is going to be the sales and marketing. This will be about another half a page, and we're just going to briefly go into, what kind of marketing are you going to do? Is it going to be traditional, social media, website? It's going to be all the above. So we'll briefly talk about that. Next thing is be your funding request, and we'll provide this information right here. The funding request, this is a template that I use. This is something that I wrote, I designed. And the reason that I use a template when doing the funding request is because you may be getting funding from a bank, you may be getting funding from an investor, you may be getting funding from both, or it's got to be one or the other for the most part. But when you do that, you got to make sure you tell them exactly how much money you're looking for. You've got to tell them what the terms are if it's a debt position that you're looking for, or you got to tell them what the terms are for an equity position. And so that's why I use the structure right here, because you got to tell them what the terms are and how you're going to pay them back, and it's succinctly summarized with that information. And only thing I do is I change out the numbers for this section right here. And then I'll give you a startup cost. I'll break it down as to where this money is going to go. The most important thing is that this $150,000 lines up with the money that we're looking for. Next section is going to be the financial projections. I'll supply some financial highlights right here. I'll show that the base assumptions of what we're assuming, for the projections. I'll put that information here, and then we're going to summarize this and end this business plan with the financial projections themselves. And it'll be 1 year financial projections. I'll break it up into a monthly basis, also a quarterly basis too, month 1 through month 3, quarter 1. And then we'll go through month 4 to month 6, quarter 2. Then we'll go to month 7 to month 9, quarter 3. And finally, month 10 to month 12, quarter 4. Once we're done with that, we sum up the quarters, and that gives us our income statement for the first year and then we use some growth projections, and we project the your revenues and costs for the next 5 years, and then we round up the business plan with a balance sheet. And like I said, this is going to be about 16 pages, and I do promise 10 to 15, but it usually runs about 15 to 17 pages. But I want to make sure I set your expectations right. So hopefully this information is helpful, and if you are looking to purchase a basic business plan, please don't be a stranger. Give me a shout. I would be absolutely delighted to help. Thank you.